I'm not sure why they're trying to speed up the end times, but the sacrifice they're about to do is very cold.
Okay, I can help you out with this one. I was raised evangelical, deeply Zionist. My mix was non denominational, Pentecostal, and Baptist. So it was wild. So let me help you out with this. They're miserable. They refuse to get the level of therapy that's required for them to be able to become aware of and internalize the fact that their world around them is a thing that is causing their desire to leave it. When and if they would internalize the true nature of the things that the thing they're worshiping, and the Bible within and of itself, if they would internalize the contents of it, they would understand that they're here to change the world, to make it a better place. Instead, they make it they do everything that is required to make it worse. So they amass wealth, they penalize the homeless. They are not helping those around them who need their assistance. Instead, they blame them for the state of the world. This may not be true for all evangelicals, but I think if you watch just watch them here on TikTok. I mean, it's a whole like hobby that one can adopt here, because you see all kinds of strange behaviors that really are explained by my theory, which is that they're worshiping in themselves. And I go into the depth on my channel about this, because what most Christians don't understand is that their life philosophy, their belief, and their Christianity is a man-made system. It just is. It just is. They took a philosophy and a belief, and the deconstruction that Yeshua was doing on the earth, and they turned it into a religion as though that is what Yeshua intended. But whatever. For the cognitive dissonance sets in, let me get back to my original point. My point is that they have decided year over year who and what their God is. And they pretend that that is divinely inspired when it's just more or less what they decided. That's going to hurt a lot of people, but I'll keep going. What they need to understand is that, and if they were being honest with themselves, with all 40,000 iterations and isms plus of who and what they are, if they would just be honest with themselves, pick and choose what and who their God is, and how their God and what their God is okay with. If you just start with what their God is okay with, you begin to see how they build this Mr. Potato Head that they worship, right? Still hurtful, but let's keep going. So instead of doing even the most basic things that could be gleaned from their holy book, from the Bible, they choose to do the opposite. It's why most of us are saying, like, I don't see how they don't realize that they are the Antichrist, like the living embodiment of the antithesis of the Christ that they claim to worship, because it's obvious when you take a look at them. But I'll keep this short. They don't realize that even though not all of them may be miserable, their hope and their eschatology and their timelines that they've created, and their acts to speed up their progression towards the end, is based in the fact that, one, they've accepted the fact that should be their focus. I'm not going to talk about rightness, okay, and where that stuff comes from. I'm just going to talk about their focus on what they're doing in the earth. Like, they've accepted that should be an actual focus and a hope, because the question that you should sit and ask them is, why is that important to you? If you believe, and that belief in that eschatology forms a basis and the proof that it is true and correct, why are you so invested in, like, some of them have like literal podcasts and shows in which they've created timelines and fan fiction and all of that. Ask them, why is that important to you? Because since you believe that that's going to be and that's going to exist, why do you even think about it? Right? It's just gonna happen. Why are you trying to speed it up? Why are you trying to create excuse me, create a reality show out of your own life in which you're trying to piece together how current events fit into this timeline, this artificial timeline that they've all created as to when the end is going to be near. Like, just ask, because most of them could spend the rest of their life trying to sort that out. Like I said, therapy. Like therapy, maybe just some group work, some root work, some shadow, whatever they want to call it. Prayer time. But they need to sit with that, because the fact that Christians aren't completely obsessed with making the world a better place up until the very, very end, right, of the timeline that they believe is the current one that we're in. The fact that that isn't what they're all completely obsessed with is telling.